I'm gonna teach you guys how to wholesale a property step by step in less than 10 minutes. Let's go. All right, guys, before I get into the steps, I wanna just share with you guys why I love wholesaling so much. It's great because it doesn't require a whole lot of money. Now, if you were buying properties, you do need some kind of money. Or if you were gonna be fixing or flipping, you also need money and a lot of credibility. And it's a lot of risk. With wholesaling, guys, anyone can do it. You don't need a license. You don't need a college degree. You don't even need your high school diploma. And you guys can go in, find good deals, and assign the contract for $5, $10, $15, and upwards of $20,000 per contract. So that's why I love it so much, because anyone can get into the space. And on top of that, guys, imagine if you guys were wholesaling 5 deals a month at $20,000 a pop. Heck, let's even break it down half. That's still $50,000 you guys could be making in a month. Let's go. So for those of you guys who don't know what wholesaling is basically you lock up a property to buy in contract, and you sell the rights to the contract, the rights to buy the property, to someone else who is willing to pay a little bit more. Whatever the difference is, that is yours to keep. I'm gonna give you guys a quick example. So I find a property and I offer the seller to buy it for $100,000. I then take that contract and I sell it to somebody else for $125,000. So I pay $100,000 to the seller, and so that difference of $25,000 is my fee that goes to me. Step number 1, you have to find a property that is undervalued for a good deal. Now, what does that look like? It can be a dilapidated property. It can be a burned down property. It can be a property where the sellers no longer want to deal with it because there's just so much headache. That's it, guys. And how are you gonna find these deals? Well, you can start off by driving for dollars, which basically means as you're on the way to the grocery store, guys, you're gonna be keeping your eyes out for any properties that are just in bad shape. The moment you see that property, you need to write down the address, and that leads me to step 2. Step number 2, guys, now that you found that ugly property, you're gonna have to figure out where the owner lives and how you're gonna get in contact with them. You can do that by using a service like PropStream or batchlead.io, and you're gonna basically put the address in. You're gonna have to pay a little bit. It's anywhere from 15 cents to 20 cents a number, and you're gonna pull the information, and now you have the contact information, right? Or you can do what I do. I pull tax records, and you can get this through your local title officer or even through the company like PropStream, and you're gonna figure out where they live. And if they live at that home or they live nearby, guess what you gotta do? Time to go knock. Step number 3, guys. So step number 3 is, now that you're knocking on that door or you're making that phone call, you're gonna wanna see if they're willing to sell. And it goes a little something like this. I always just start off and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, my name is Brian. I'm a local investor, and I'm liking, we buy properties all the time, kind of like in your condition. Just wanted to see, what are your plans with this property? Figure it out. And so in step number 3, you're basically trying to find the motivation. You're trying to find what they need, what they want, and that's where you can come in, and you might need to brush up your skills. This is where things get a little bit more difficult, because wholesaling is not hard, but it does require a lot of work, and it does require you to up your skills and learn some basic sales training so that you know how to dig for motivation and go for the close. Step 4, guys, you figured out what they want, and now you have to do some homework. You have to figure out what the property is worth in its current condition and what is the best use for the property. Is it to flip it? Is it to sell it to somebody who's gonna buy it as a rental? Is it gonna be for somebody who's gonna develop it and just demolish everything? Once you identify what's the best option, then you have to reverse it to figure out what price do you need to lock up the property for. Step 5, guys. So step 5, now that you identified the price, you are gonna write a contract. And I'm gonna be able to give you guys a template, and there's a ton out there, but you wanna lock up the property. And so once you agree to the price, you're gonna have to put it in your name or your company's name, and always put and or assignee. So that way you can assign the contract to another buyer. Step 6, guys, contract's all done. You're in escrow, so you usually have a time period to perform and or back out so you can get your deposit back. This is how you find the buyer. Now, typically, you have identified what the best use of the property is. So let's just say it's for a fix and flipper. Well, that's easy. Well, you go to your local meetup, that's the simplest way, and you can literally find all the flippers there. Let's just say you had the property locked up for $800, and you know that somebody's gonna be willing to pay $825. You go to that local meetup, you talk to some people, say, hey, I have a deal for $825. It's on this street, this street, this street, and this is what it would be worth if you put in $50,000. You can easily sell it for 1.2. I guarantee you guys, if you did your numbers correctly, that investor will easily make a decision to buy that property. Which leads me to step number 7. Transfer the assignment with the fee agreement to them. They close on the property, and you make sure that escrow gives you the difference. Step 8, celebrate. Get paid, guys. Make that $25,000. Woo! Repeat the process. Do that 6, 7, 8, or 9 more times. Let's go. So guys, that's the 8 steps to wholesaling. I hope you guys get a better understanding of what it is and how easy it is to make money in wholesaling. And I want to leave you guys with this bonus tip. Now, although wholesaling is easy, it does require hard work. There's a difference. It's easy because anyone can do it. You don't need a license. Like I said, you don't need a college degree. You don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. You just need a good work ethic to go find the property, make the calls, and do the follow-up to lock up the property. So I hope that gives you guys some insight. I want you guys to get started. Just be mindful when you're driving to the grocery store or when you're driving your kids to school. Look for those ugly looking properties. Stop the car, write the address down, and honestly, just try Googling it first. Don't even use any of the other programs I just mentioned. Just Google the address and see what you can find. Get in the habit of doing it. Just start. I know you guys can do this. I want to see you win. I want to see you guys become very successful. And we're going to build this community up so that we can help more people. Let's go.